सब कुछ सारे में हो गया तो पुलिस क्यों कर रही है दबाने की कोशिश? देखो मेरे तुम्हें दिखा नहीं सकती सारा नंगा बदन करके ये रे जालिमों ने।
The police refuses to believe her, stating that there is no evidence that suggests rape.
पूरी बॉडी से जो है जहाँ पे भी उनके फॉरेन डीएनए पाए जाने की संभावना थी, उसकी सबकी स्वैब्स ले लिए गए और उन स्वैब्स को एसएसएल लैब लखनऊ भेज दिया गया। उनके कहीं पे भी क्लोथ्स पे या शरीर पे कहीं पे भी सीमेन के कोई स्टेन्स नहीं थे।
Her family was allegedly attacked by armed goons at this spot. They were travelling from Zevar to Bulandshahr when they were robbed and the women allegedly gang raped. A 45-year-old male family member was shot dead when he tried to protect the honor of the women. 72 hours later, no arrests have been made. And the police proudly claims they acted promptly and initiated investigations.
इन्फॉर्मेशन हमें मिली है, उसके बीच में लगभग 50 मिनट का गैप है, लेकिन वो जैसे ही इन्फॉर्मेशन मिली है उसके बाद हमारा जो रेस्पॉन्स टाइम है, मेरे ख्याल से दैट इज फाइन, उससे ज़्यादा बेहतर रेस्पॉन्स टाइम शायद नहीं हो सकता।
BJP on its part calls these crimes a legacy problem.
हम लोगों को जो व्यवस्था प्रदेश के अंदर मिली, विरासत में मिली है, वो एक जंगल राज की मिली थी। अराजकता, घोर अराजकता, सत्ता के संरक्षण में अपराधी यहाँ पे पल रहे थे, फल फूल रहे थे।
अभी सरकार बदली है, प्रशासनिक फेरबदल भी बहुत जल्दी से योगी जी ने किया है, थोड़े समय में कंट्रोल आ जाएगा, मगर प्रॉम्प्टली कठोर कदम उठाने का काम योगी आदित्यनाथ सरकार ने किया।
एक वास्तविकता ये भी है कि हमें एक विरासत में एक ढांचा मिला है और उस ढांचा को तुरंत परिवर्तित नहीं किया जा सकता और उस पे हम लोग काम कर रहे हैं।
But this isn't the first incident that has come to light since a new government came to power in Uttar Pradesh. Yet shockingly, a minister from Yogi Adityanath's own cabinet claims that the government never promised to make the state crime-free.
देखिए, इतना बड़ा प्रदेश है, हमने जीरो क्राइम की बात कभी नहीं की।
Is this how callously the government of Uttar Pradesh views the safety of its citizens? Mirror Now report.
The state of Uttar Pradesh is completely lawless. There have been 11 rapes that have been reported in Uttar Pradesh in the month of May alone. In this month, 11 rapes. In Jewar, a family of 8 people were traveling in a car. 8 people, 4 of whom were male members of the family. To the women who are watching, I want you to think back to the number of times you have been in a car with male members of your family and thought you were safe. There was something used to deflate the tires, to puncture the tires of this car. When the people got out to see what had happened, armed robbers surrounded them. They shot one member of the family. They dragged the women into the fields. The women alleged they were gang raped. The men were beaten mercilessly. They were robbed and they were left there. The families' phones were taken away. The people who were expecting them called the police. The police claimed they arrived in time. Not a single arrest has been made. At the same time, there are other cases coming up in UP that are shocking. In Muzaffarnagar, 2 young girls, aged around 10, were brought into a grocery shop. The grocery shop owner and 5 of his friends gang raped them. What is the government doing? A woman was raped by 3 men in front of her husband. 2 days ago, a 27-year-old woman was gang raped by 3 men in Badun district of Uttar Pradesh. This seems to be commonplace in the state of Uttar Pradesh, and we have a government that is making excuses, telling us this is virasat, telling us that it's going to take time, that this is not a problem that you can fix overnight. What about the promises you made when you came to power? And most importantly, where are your anti-Romeo squads? The anti-Romeo squads that were launched with so much pomp and splendor, that did nothing more than harass young kids in front of colleges, should have been stopping crimes like these. Don't turn around and tell us now that Uttar Pradesh is a very big place. We knew Uttar Pradesh was a very big place. You knew Uttar Pradesh was a very big place. You campaigned all over it. Shouldn't you have a solution for this very big state? in his very large population that has voted you into power. What is going on in the state of Uttar Pradesh? Why is there a complete crumbling of law and order, and who's going to take responsibility? This sort of behavior, to turn around and say that this is virasat and there's nothing that can be done, we can't fix the problem overnight. Is that really true? That's the question we are asking today. And I want to point out to our audience simply this. There are a lot of English channels right now. If you flip, you'll find them, but don't. They will all be taking up other stories. On this channel, we will constantly take up stories that affect you and me. This particular attack that happened on this family of 8 happened right outside of Greater Noida, on or almost on the Yamuna Expressway. Tomorrow it could be you, it could be me, it could be someone we love on that road. Noida, Greater Noida, Yamuna Expressway. How often have you been on that road? How often have you looked around and said, nay, I have my brother and my husband with me, I'll be fine. Not 1, not 2, but 4 male family members were not enough to protect these women, and one of those male family members is dead because he tried to protect them. This is the UP of today, and excuses are just not good enough. Joining me on the show this evening, Anila Singh, spokesperson of the BJP. Vikram Singh, former DGP, Uttar Pradesh, joins us from Lucknow. Sudhakar Suradkar, former IPS officer in Mumbai. Vandana Mishra, General Secretary of the Uttar Pradesh PUCL. Amit Khemka is an advocate, Brinda Adige, women's rights activist, and Sunita Godara is a social activist. I welcome all of you to the show. Vikram Singh will join us through the course of this conversation. Sunita Godara, how often have you been on the Yamuna Expressway? Yeah. And how worried are you today?
Many times. The problem is what they are saying, government is saying virasat. Please don't abuse this word, because virasat is always in a good sense. Whatever has happened earlier, but they should not give that excuse. System is so rotten. If they start punishing those convicted people, then the fear will come. There is no police fear, there is no law, and there's, first of all, the culprits they have no fear. That is why again and again the same things are happening. See what happened to Nirbhaya Kand? It took 5 years to give them punishment, and I just don't like one thing. When they are convicted, after that also they are covering their head, covering their face. So you don't want to show the culprit and the victim who is suffering so much. You are not listening to them. You are not taking FIR for them. So the system is all fragile. So they have to take deterrent punishments. They have to give deterrent punishment to these people and start doing it, because you have some people, they are already convicted for rape, for murder. Just finish them.
Amit Khemka, this is supposed to be the Ram Rajya of Uttar Pradesh. But the stories that we hear every day, just today, Amit Khemka, there is this story that came out, and my team told me about it when I walked into office today, and it's distressing. A 15-year-old girl was abducted and gang raped in a village in Uttar Pradesh. The accused men filmed the act on their mobile phones. The girl had gone to the fields. 3 men of a village abducted her and raped her and made videos of it. This is the Uttar Pradesh of today, Amit Khemka. What's wrong? Why is Uttar Pradesh falling apart?
Please see the attitude of the police officer. The police officer is saying that there is not enough corroborating evidence of the rape. What about the murder? If I may ask this officer, who is very happy on his response time in finding out the culprits is 0. He is not able to do anything, and then they choose to deny that the rape has taken place. There is a woman, the Supreme Court says that the bare statement of a woman who has been the victim, at least prima facie, it is enough evidence. At least. In fact, the Supreme Court goes on to say it's a conclusive evidence. But even if there are certain circumstances, it will be a matter of investigation much later. But right now, the job of the police is to catch hold of the culprits. That is one. And what about the murder? The police doesn't say anything about the murder. There is a murder which has taken place in broad daylight in front of 7 other people. So what is it which the police is wanting to say? And then the government goes on to say that it is already 2.5 months we are in power, but we are still bothered about you have not stopped transferring people. You are just more bothered about just transferring officers from one place to another. I don't know what solution the transfers bring. But what is required is to send a message. What was required was to send a strict message that there will be zero tolerance to the crime. But how do you do that? If you see in Delhi, 2 governments are fighting with each other, saying that it is not my responsibility to take care,
Right.
Right,
you know, Amit, I want to play out these bites for the benefit of our viewers and our audience. Just one second, sir, one second. I want to play out these responses. Our reporters had gone out and spoken to these victims. Listen to these responses, and there is a common thread. They all turned around and said, we are having to convince the police that we were raped. The police is not taking our word for it. The police doesn't believe us. Is this the world we live in? A woman is gang raped and then she has to beg the police to believe her? Listen to this.
आप लोगों के साथ दुष्कर्म नहीं हुआ, केवल हाथापाई हुई। आप वहां पे थी, आप बताएं क्या हुआ?
सब कुछ हुआ, मैं आपको क्या बताऊं इस उम्र में। सब कुछ हुआ, हमारी डॉक्टर ही नहीं हुई है क्या मेडिकल में हमारी। सब कुछ हुआ है हमारा।
मतलब पुलिस इस मामले को दबाने की कोशिश कर रही है?
कोशिश कर रही है। जब सब कुछ सारे में हो गया तो पुलिस क्यों कर रही है दबाने की कोशिश? देखो तुम्हें दिखा नहीं सकती सारा नंगा बदन करके ये रे जालिमों ने।
1:38 मैं इस आधार पर कह रहा हूँ कि वो जो पीड़ित परिवार है, जब वो गाड़ी से उतरा और गाड़ी से उतरने के बाद जब उन्होंने अपने चेक किया कि टायर पंक्चर है, उन्होंने अपने एक परिचित को फ़ोन किया और वो फ़ोन पे उन्होंने बताया कि भाई मेरे पास एक ही स्टेपनी है, आप एक और स्टेपनी भिजवा दो। ये बातचीत वो कर ही रहे थे, तब तक बदमाशों ने उनको घेर लिया। तो जाहिर सी बात है कि हमारी घटना का जो एग्जैक्ट समय है वो होगा जब उसने अपने जो साथी हैं, परिचित हैं, उनको कॉल किया। वो CDR के आधार पर वो जो घटना का समय है वो 1:38 है जब उन्होंने फ़ोन मिलाया। तो इट मीन्स जो हमारी घटना का एग्जैक्ट समय है वो 1:38 है। उसके बाद हम लोगों ने सारे CDRs, सारे कॉल डिटेल्स हर तरीके से एनालाइज किया है, क्योंकि मैं ये मानता हूँ कि सुरक्षा की जिम्मेदारी हमारी है, पुलिस की है, पूरे क्षेत्र की सुरक्षा की जिम्मेदारी हमारी है। लेकिन इस घटना में जो हमें इन्फॉर्मेशन मिली 2:31 पे जो कॉलर हैं उन्होंने डायल 100 पे कॉल किया लखनऊ। यानी
कल जो आपके बयान, आप लोग के बयान आए कि आप लोग जानते थे, पहचानते थे, ऐसा क्या हुआ? आप लोग सदमे में आप लोग ने इनका नाम लिया या आप लोगों ने देखा था या कुछ शक हुआ उस परिवार पे कि आप लोग नाम लिया?
हमने नहीं।
Well, of course, we're going to try and get those bites in for you. But the thing that we are noticing as a sign through all of these is that the rape victims saying that the police won't believe them. Mr. Suradkar, I want to ask you this. Is it true, is it fair for the government to turn around today, for the government of the day in Uttar Pradesh to turn around and say that this is virasat, that we are not able to keep the city, we are not able to keep UP safe because it's such a large place? Is that fair?
It's absolutely, what should I say? They are just shirking their responsibility. They are responsible, they must act. How can they point out fingers at the earlier government? Just because earlier government has not done something, can they continue with it? What are they doing? What are they taking? Why the police is taking so much time to take prima facie to register case under rape? Gang rape is there, murder is there, such a serious crimes have taken place. And the way the crime has been committed, blatantly they have committed crime. I presume that they are hardened criminals. It's not the first time.
Yes.
And then when they are hardened criminals are committing openly such crime, what are the police doing? There is no fear of police.
Let me point out that exactly a year ago, a similar incident had happened on a highway in Bulandshahr, where a mother and a daughter were raped by armed assailants. when their car was carjacked. A similar incident. So this is not new.
I would take it this way, that these gangs, armed gangs, are patronized by some powerful people. And I won't be surprised that they are supported by very influential political leaders of all parties. And BJP is no exception. It's not a party with difference. They are the same. So let them wake up and start taking action. Round up all the gangs which are known for committing such crimes. Police have a modus operandi. They know who are the people who are dealing in such crime.
Right.
They must find out their whereabouts.
How can they not have made any arrests? Anila Singh, how could they not have made any arrests? And I want you to respond to what has been said so far. We've just had a very senior retired IPS officer say that no party is different unless you can show us action. And in this case, it seems like the politicians are hand in glove with the people who are committing these crimes.
First of all, I am not going to agree what the senior IPS officer has just mentioned, that all political parties are alike. Let me make myself very clear. Bharatiya Janata Party is not one amongst the all political parties who give shelter to the criminals. Perhaps he is mistaking BJP with the RJD or Congress. Number one. Number two, we are not shying away from the fact that yes, the heinous crime happened there. We shouldn't have been. But just now, like in the beginning, one of my lady panelists, she mentioned that inheritance word should not be used, because whenever it is mentioned with good memory, with good things. Okay, I am going to mention here, we are not inherited, but we have been handed over UP, which is infested with criminals, bad, corrupt administration, under policing. So UP was in very, very bad shape. A bold leadership was required to correct whatever was happening in UP. Yogi ji and his government is doing its task. Let me complete, Faye. Let me complete. I have very patiently listened each and every panelist. Then one of the panelists, she mentioned that Nirbhaya Kand, still the culprits, they are not hanged. Yes, of course, I agree with you. Judiciary is one angle. Until or unless exemplary punishment is not given to the criminals, I think they roam around, and somehow the wrong message goes in the society. And thirdly, like you were mentioning, or one of the panelists has mentioned about the women who were present there at the crime scene, that they were raped and police did not agree to them. See, there has been a difference in the statements given by the women who were present at the crime scene, and that is why medical test was done, and the medical test was done twice. And if you listen to the today's statement which they have given, they have said I don't know why I gave that statement, that my neighbors were involved in it. So just, I am not questioning that whether they were mishandled, whether they were raped, but yes, this is proof that they were not raped. And ultimately, it is like justice is given when culprits are caught. And this is what Chief Minister of UP has promised, that culprits will be caught and they will be behind the bar and will be given a very
Let's assume, for argument's sake, Anila Singh, that these women, and the woman in question here is over 50 years old, who claims that she was gang raped. Let's assume, for argument's sake, she was not gang raped. But the lead of that family, 45-year-old, was shot dead. Why have there been no arrests? Why is it the police have not managed to trace a single person? All they have managed to do is disprove the witness. One second. They've spent their time over the last 2 days disproving the victim. They have not managed to make any headway in the investigation. They have not even managed to put out sketches up till now of the suspects. They have no idea who they're looking for, or they know who they're looking for, and they have absolutely no intention to find that person. And if you're telling me that in this particular case, Anila Singh, 1 second, calm down. If you're telling me that in this particular case the woman was not raped, what about the 27-year-old who was gang raped in front by 3 men? What about the woman who was raped in front of her husband? What about the 2 minor girls who were raped in Muzaffarnagar?
Shameful.
What about the 15-year-old girl who was raped today in her village?
Any rape,
what about all of these people?
Rape is shameful.
What is the justification? Are you actually telling me Virasat is the only answer that the government of Uttar Pradesh has to give us? That there is absolutely... What about the entire Romeo squad that was launched very pompously at that time, saying we are going to solve the problem?
We cannot be mocked by saying that what we inherited. We cannot be mocked by saying that we use the word inherited. This
Vandana
is the
Mishra.
fact that we inherited UP in very bad shape. But as you mentioned about different rape cases, of course it is very, very shameful. And I really wish that the culprits are caught there behind the bars, and the judiciary system, they also work in prompt, and the justice is given.
What is the point if the government is going to sit around and hope for the culprits to be caught? This is your job. Vandana Mishra, I have a problem with the government that comes into play fully knowing what kind of state you are inheriting. This is not new information. This is not new information. Everybody knows what kind of state you are inheriting. And how can a minister of the state turn around and say that the government cannot give you a crime-free state?
We have been handed over a state which was infested by criminals.
I can't hear you unless the other person stops speaking.
Vandana Mishra, my submission is simply this. My submission is, when you went into UP elections, you knew what kind of state it was. You made it was announced publicly. The elections are over now. The opposition has been defeated. You have taken over. You are running the state. How can this government today turn around and say nothing can be done? Vandana Mishra.
I think it is a very, very irresponsible statement from the government that they say that we did not promise a crime-free state, or they say we did not promise a zero kind of state, zero crime state. I think it's a very irresponsible statement from the government, and I think this kind of statements and this kind of attitudes encourage the criminals, encourage the rapists, encourage the cow vigilantes to go and have free hand in the state to do anything, to insult anybody, to rape anybody, and do whatever they want to do. So I think the government should refrain from making such comments. The first thing they should have done, that they should have expressed their grief. They should have sympathized with the victims, and they should have promised, and they should have assured them that very soon they are going to do something. They should have arrested the criminals. The police reaching there after 1.5 hours is really very, very shameful. How can they say that, how can they make such statements about the women? They were not raped. How can they say that such callous attitude shows their soft corner towards these criminals, and this shows that they are encouraging them. So I think it is very, very bad. And saying that it is Virasat, I don't think that within 2.5 months of the government, any other government had shown such results, such a bad record of crimes in UP. See what happened in Saharanpur.
I have to comment.
Women are not safe. You go form Romeo squads, and you are not, and the women are not safe. You don't do anything for making women safe here, and you form an extra constitutional force and a force of gundas to harass young girls and boys, and you say that you are doing a very good thing. So I think it's very shameful, and it's very very absurd on their part.
I want to bring in Brinda Adige. The Romeo squads that were formed, the anti-Romeo squads, Brinda, we talked about it when they were formed. Once again, Anila Singh, once everybody has had a chance to speak, I'm going to come back to you. Brinda, we talked about anti-Romeo squads. Anti-Romeo squads showed particular interest in the youth in the cities of Lucknow and Meerut, in young people. Today we see, in the last week, 1 week, Women and girls of the ages of 10, 13, 15, 27 and 50 have been raped in the state of Uttar Pradesh. Where are the anti-Romeo squads? If we were so hell-bent on keeping women safe, would we be policing them outside of colleges, or would we be saving the 10-year-olds who are being gang raped at this point? Brinda Adige.
I have always been against the anti-Romeo squad, but in this particular instance, the question that you're asking is very, very valid, because the government, the CM of UP promised that with this anti-Romeo squad, violence against women, violence against children and students will drastically come down. They will be checked, they will be looked at, and immediate intervention will be attended to by the police. But nothing of this has happened. And we know that the anti-Romeo squad was just an eyewash. It was a knee-jerk reaction to something that they had as a personal agenda. It has nothing to do with the safety and protection of women and the students. And this anti-Romeo squad seemed to have also had a lot of police officers in it. These people also seem to be now sitting somewhere having no responsibility. Absolutely shameful, unprofessional behavior by the police over there for not registering the case, because they believe that this was not a case of rape. I think the entire UP force, from the DG till the last constable, need to be trained first on what is the legislation and what are the various verdicts that have been given by the Supreme Court. The statement, the complaint of the victim who has been raped is enough. There is no job for the police to be feeling that, yes, I think you have been raped, yes, I should register this case. He has no right, he has no place over there with his feelings, emotions and his patriarchal mindset. He is being paid to do a job. He has to register the case. He has to piece evidence together. Forensic evidence, circumstantial evidence, and the statements made by the people there as well as the witness. What does he have to say about all of them? And where is the state government's protocol? Why have they not got their data in place? That data is not in place. We've been talking about having this data, and that data is not in place. So all of it is the responsibility of the state government, and Mr. Amit Shah cannot make such an irresponsible statement that we have just come 2.5 months ago. Whatever you wanted to do in 2.5 hours, you did. That is the power and authority that you have. So why is women's safety and protection not on your priority list?
And you know, I personally have this question to ask. There was a campaign that was run before the 2014 elections which said, हमारे बेटियों को सुरक्षित ना रखने वालों जनता माफ नहीं करेगी. This was also a campaign that was run by the central government of the day. Now, if you have been central government for 3 years to the day today, can you then turn around and say you had zero power in Uttar Pradesh? That means that you have zero power as a central government in any state where you don't also run the state government. That, I believe, is very, 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 very concerning for our form of government. Vikram Singh joins us right now. Vikram Singh, Uttar Pradesh saddens us all. But I want you to comment on this one thing, Vikram Singh. 3 days ago, 8 people were robbed, 1 was murdered, and 4 were raped off the highway near Greater Noida. Not a single arrest has been made. The police held a press conference today, a lengthy press conference where they spent most of the time either justifying the fact that no, we arrived on time, or they spent the other time justifying the fact that no, there was no rape. They had zero information about the accused. They had not even made sketches. They have absolutely no leads. It's almost like they spent most of their time up till now absolving themselves and reducing the charge in the FIR, Vikram Singh. I'm so disappointed today.
Feel like you, all of us, are very, very disappointed and dejected. Disappointment is an understatement. We had expected a lot more from this government. But things do not, I'm afraid, have not changed much in what happened in the last government and what has happened now. We have yet again failed our daughters. First, almost the same terrain and almost the same modus operandi. Again, the same horrific carelessness and casual or cavalier attitude of the police not to register the case in the first go. And they should have realized that it is not for the police to question. If they don't have a choice, they have to register a case. Otherwise, if the case has not been registered, then action under 166A of the IPC should have been taken against the delinquent police officers by now. That has also not been done. All the forensic, all the medical and medico-legal examination should have been complete. You should have been proactive in identifying, announcing rewards on the criminals. That has also not happened. Then what precious little have you done? What level of confidence are you going to instill in our daughters and the people? Are you again going to sit and wish for some fairy to come and guide you and drag you by the hand and take you to the criminals? Obviously, no homework has been done, no criminal intelligence has been generated, no proactive measures have been given. Therefore, the fear of God does not exist in the minds of the perpetrators and the rapists. To question the rape survivors, whether the rape has happened or not, it is not a matter of discretion or choice. They should have registered it. I am not aware if any suspension has happened or not, but I very much doubt if suspensions. I would rather that the entire police station should have been placed under suspension. The case should have been handed over to the UP STF for investigation, and now reward should have been announced on the culprits. I am sure this has not happened, and I would like to know, anti-Romeo squads are just cosmetics now. As far as I am concerned, they are just cosmetics. They don't cut any ice, and it is very unconvincing to say that anti-Romeo squads will deliver. It is a symptomatic approach, but what about this horrific rape? How did the local police question the survivors as to why the case should be registered? It is not a discretion. They should have registered it in the first go. How dare they question and interrogate the survivors? It is not their job, it's not the profile. 13th Criminal Law Amendment
Vikram Singh, the
Act
point is, at the end of the day, if there was no rape, as the police claimed, there was still a murder, and that's enough of a case to go and catch those culprits. It's the same set of 4 people that they have to go and nab. They've spent their time disproving the rape instead of actually finding the accused, which is what they should have been doing over the last 2 days. Deepak Dam is on the phone line from Agra. Deepak, do you spend a lot of time on the Yamuna Expressway? And does this story now make you nervous, Deepak?
I think I was very excited when this expressway got inaugurated. We thought that our days of long queues and long travel has gone. But I've been traveling on this with my family very, very, very often, with my wife, with my daughter, with my son. And now I feel so scared. I thought the new highway between Agra and Lucknow would have the same fate. If this is going to be our law and order in UP, which I think, I'm not a BJP supporter, I'm not a SP supporter, I'm not a Congress supporter, I'm just a simple individual who want to live peacefully. If this is the state of affairs, I feel my government of the day of Yogi Adityanath ji, probably the law and order is the least of all. They are not even bothered. I'm sorry to say, maybe you are running a program, but who knows whether Yogi ji is aware of this incident or not. Nobody takes it. It is just, we are people at our own will. I mean, there is no accountability. And the arms goons are roaming everywhere. The robberies are happening. Agra, there is so much of abductions are happening. Expressway is the latest example where you go and you get looted, raped and all, and there is no accountability. And top of it, what is the biggest scam? I came to know this morning that the Expressway Authority has been paying money to the government of UP for providing 2 police vans every 10 or 15 kilometers. I mean, this money has been taken for last many years for petrol. This is, I don't know where the money is going. Who is enjoying this money? There is not even one motor car of the police on the whole highway. It is so scary.
It is so scary. It is so scary. Let me take this to Anila Singh. Anila Singh, there are lots of things to respond to. I want to bring up to you the BJP UP manifesto for the election that was fought. Special Women Police Task Force to monitor women's safety. 100 fast-track courts to take care of women's concerns, anti-Romeo Dal to be formed near every college and university, and a widow pension to be raised. These are the 4 mentions of women in the BJP manifesto. We have known for a very long time that the highways in UP are death traps for women. Why is there no patrolling on the highways in UP? This is common sense, Anila Singh. This is not virasat that you need to solve over a long period of time to put CCTV cameras and put highway patrol. This is not rocket science. Why hasn't it been done?
First of all, you are absolutely right when you talk about the crime happening on highways. Uttar Pradesh has 80% share in India in the crimes happening on highways. So absolutely there is no doubt about it. The Uttar Pradesh which is handed over to us is again very much infested by the criminals on the highways, which we are connecting. Number one. Number two,
how are you connecting? Anila Singh, one second. You said you are correcting. Please tell me how you're correcting. How are you correcting it? What are you doing? What are the actions being taken by the government to correct this? Please tell me. What are you doing to correct it?
I'll tell you one major step which we are going to take. As I mentioned earlier, that UP is under-policed. There is only 1.80 lakh of police on 20 crores of people. So we the past government, they should have
stop talking about the past government and focus on today's government. Anila Singh, the elections are over. The elections are over. You won. You won by a landslide. You won by the largest mandate. Let me tell you, I will send you the press release. The BJP has formed a government in UP. Don't talk about the previous government. Talk about what you're doing today.
They have given us mandate. We are answerable to them. And in our manifesto, we have mentioned that we are going to uproot the criminals from Uttar Pradesh.
How?
And we are going to do it. We are answerable to UP people.
What have you done?
What we have committed. And let me comment on Mr. Deepak, the caller. This crime has not happened on Agra-Mathura Expressway. So please.
So can you tell him? Can you tell Deepak, a citizen of Uttar Pradesh, that Agra-Mathura Expressway is completely safe and he can drive down that expressway at midnight with his wife and daughter? Nothing will happen. Can you give him that commitment as the government of the day?
I will be able to say this thing what you want me to say right now, Faye, after couple of years, because right now not even 2.5 months.
You didn't say that in the election manifesto. You didn't say that in the election manifesto that vote us into power. It will take a couple of years for us to stop crime.
On your panel and question about the administration of the past government.
Okay, so to the women of UP who are listening right now, you are not safe for the next few years because this government has very clearly put up its hands and said, Virasat mein we cannot solve this problem. Vikram Singh, if you knew...
I have to correct here. You mentioned about the anti-Romeo squad. Anti-Romeo squad is for the eve teasers.
If I may just put a small interjection and 2 quick points, please.
Please, Vikram Singh, please interject.
That and other panelists too. So I have to clear the situation.
Vikram Singh, please interject.
Anila ji, with the greatest of respect, may I? Anila ji, with the greatest of respect, may I? I understand that you inherited a system. Sure. You have inherited a police force whose efficiency has been badly compromised. And it is presumed, it is said of the police force current that you have dragged it out of the ICU and it will take some time before you can make it stand on. But the people have no patience. People are at their wits' end. We cannot, what to talk of 2 years. You'd be lucky, ma'am, if you get 2 months. You have to put your act together. You have professional officers. Get after the jugulars of the rapists and the criminals. Announce rewards. Get after them. This is something that you do not require 2 years. It requires just 2 days. Get after them. Ensure proper patrolling, picketing, fast-track courts, and ensure proper convictions of the top 5 cases, and you will have a salutary impact. Ma'am, people today do not have the patience to wait for 2 years. Ma'am, you have a government that is supposedly, that claims itself to be people-friendly. It's supposed to be people-centric. It's supposed to give the topmost priority to security of women. Then why are we talking of terms of months and years? The police is one of the best fighting machines in the country, UP police. Now you just have to give them a sense of confidence, give them that they should have a no-nonsense approach to rapists and criminals. They should get after them. But I feel that there is a diffidence, there is some lack of confidence. That is why this explains what happened there. Why, how can they even get away, and departmental action not taken till now against those who question the survivors as to the circumstances of the rape? Don't you think it is a matter for all of us to hang our heads in shame? What happened in Sahabur again, that we did not come down like a ton of bricks on the criminals. This symptom of applying band-aid to cancer is pervading all over the state. Madam, this requires a course correction. Please address all the fault lines. Please see where the fissures are and then get to into the repair mode in a fast-forward mode. So that people, you are accounted to people, you give them a sense of confidence that you will be totally unsparing to rapists and criminals.
I want to bring in Amit Khemka. Amit Khemka, there's a lot being said about the anti-Romeo squad. You'll remember, Amit Khemka, that the anti-Romeo squads mushroomed overnight and they were fully staffed and they were around every corner if a girl was talking to a boy outside a college. If that same amount of vigor was placed in highway police, and there were highway police around every corner, and these are armed robbers with guns, stopping families and shooting people. Why is it that we care so much about eve teasing, but we don't care about gang rape and murder?
See, BJP spokesperson probably doesn't know how to solve the problem. Let me tell her how this problem can be solved. You have to have zero tolerance to these kind of things, and how. Here is an officer who doesn't understand, who doesn't know that semen presence is not a requirement of evidence of rape. He says that since there was no semen present, the rape did not take place. This officer immediately has to be chucked out of the job because he doesn't know the basic definition of rape given in IPC today. That is one. Second is
police
that you must please understand that
let me correct you. This is the medical report, sir.
Yeah.
He said this.
He said this. He said this. He said this. And second, this is an organized crime.
He stated what was mentioned in medical report. UP, please do not confuse.
In UP, please let me, madam. Please let me.
Why he repeated that?
Let me please complete, madam. The second, I'm just giving you suggestions. If you don't want to take it, please don't take it. The second is that this is an organized crime. And organized crimes don't take place without political and bureaucratic support, at least in North India. Here in UP and Bihar, only organized crimes takes place when there is a support of either the politicians or of the bureaucrats. Just see to it that no such support exists. You will be able to solve that. You will not need few years. You will be able to solve it within few weeks. And you will be able to send a message to everybody. But the problem is that here is an administration which wants to deny the crime, which wants to shift the burden. Please don't do this. Our lives are precious, madam.
I do not agree with you. We are not denying the crime. Sir, please. We have got full sympathies with the family and the administration.
Your officer is clearly denying.
We are not denying the fact that crime has happened. Please don't blame. Don't blame like this. We are not shying away from the fact. We can't. We can't. Nobody can.
Absolutely.
Not the administration, not the government.
He's saying.
But you cannot state wrong facts
that
here.
Because they took 50 minutes in reporting the crime, because the victims took 50 minutes in reporting the crime, therefore there is a doubt, because there were differences in their statements, therefore there is doubt. So where is the doubt? Do you believe that the rape did not take place? Do you believe the murder did not take place? What are you questioning? What are you doubting?
And
you are not doing your job.
7 witnesses,
and in fact,
Amit Khemka,
you are doubting the crime.
7 witnesses who survived.
The murder
this
has
attack.
taken place.
Mr. Suradkar,
and the
tell me this.
police and everybody
There is a
is
crime that has taken
acknowledging
place
that
in the
fact.
most heinous
And
manner.
about
It's an
the
organized
rape,
crime.
the women,
They put something on the road. They flattened 2 tires,
they were
knowing
not
full
raped.
that any car
And
will
that
have
is
only
why
one stepney,
medical
which means
tests
that
were
these people have
conducted.
no choice but to stand on the
I
road.
will agree with one of the panelists when he said that the organized crime cannot go without support of the politicians and bureaucrats. Absolutely right. That's what's happening all over the country, not only UP, all over the country it's happening. So now this was an opportunity to UP government and UP police to go after this organized gang. And because it's not only rape, it's murder, dacoity, and openly using firearms.
Yes.
So now there are a number of gangs operating all over the state. Entire police should have gone against all the gangs, and they would have definitely come to the conclusion which gang has operated in this particular case.
I just want to point out something, Mr. Suradkar. If you look at your screen right now, and we're looking at at the footage of the UP Chief Minister, I have great respect for the gentleman and everything he stands for. I have even more great respect for the security that he has around him. They seem to be very, very good at their job. So these are obviously members of the UP police who are providing security to the Chief Minister right now. So if this is the kind of security, Mr. Suradkar, that the UP police can provide, look at them, look at that, look at the security.
I have seen it. So I would say only one thing, there is no dearth of competent and good policemen in UP. Use them. And weed out the fellows who want to shirk their responsibility, who want to not to register the case, who have not arrested any gangster, known gang members so far. They have to go in an organized way, and the entire police force has to come together and do it. Not only a particular police station. If they do it, I have no doubt that they can definitely detect the case. But is there the political will to allow the policemen to function the way they should?
Yeah. Absolutely. Vikram Singh, former DGP of Uttar Pradesh. I'm still completely taken by the visuals of security. How much of UP's security is actually being pressed right now into VIP work, Vikram Singh? How much of UP police is working on VIPs?
Let me tell you, Faye, and all the respected panelists, that VIP security is always at a premium in Uttar Pradesh and especially in the North Indian states. And a large chunk of the police resources and manpower go to safeguard our VIPs. What we can do now is to scale down the security and give this security to the people and to the victims of crime who are more deserving of security than anybody else. People first, as what you profess. And as the learned panelist said, that security can come, but if everybody is safe, then even the politicians are safe. But if you and I are not safe, then even the politicians are not safe. That is why they are cocooned in their own security, and others are left at the whims and fancies and at the mercy of
six
the warlord
heavily
and
armed guards. 6 heavily armed guards on either side. Is that also Virasat? Did it come with the previous the state of affairs, Vikram Singh?
Yeah, that they have taken.
No, Virasat, I would say, that is truly translated means legacy. Yes, indeed, they have had a legacy about which I would not like to comment, and Anila ji has also mentioned the legacy that they have inherited. But you have come into power. Now legacy cannot be an alibi for more than 15 days. You have to get over it. You have it in you to get over the Virasat and the legacy. Because now if you talk of legacy after 30 days, the people are not going to forgive you now. And what the learned panelists before me had said, UP has no dearth of competent officers. Get hold of those who are unable to deliver. Register a case of 166A IPC as is mandated against those police officers who did not register a case, who were indifferent to the survivors. Have we not done that? That Virasat and legacy has nothing to do with that. Announcing rewards on the criminals, going on a hot pursuit, that in Virasat has nothing to do with that. You have posted your men, ask them to deliver in 24 hours.
Ask people to deliver. Ask people to deliver. And we're looking at the numbers right now of crime in UP. We're looking at the numbers of police officers in UP. None of it has improved. It needs to improve, and it needs to improve very, very quickly to reassure the people of Uttar Pradesh that this government is actually working. Kamaljeet Singh on the phone line from Bangalore. Kamaljeet, go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. I have a question from Madam from BJP or the spokesperson of BJP. Does the IO report to her that she is giving the explanation on behalf of police that rape has not happened. How she can, is the IO reporting to her when the female members come to this rape case and all, they should have some emotion in talking about the lady who's the victim. When they not support only their party, they should see the victim also. When they being female, they talk like only to protect their party. They talk. It is not only BJP. All any spokesperson comes to any party, they only protect their parties, or they don't have the same emotion for the victim. And the IO is not reporting to her. She is telling rape is not happened. That's all my question.
Kanaya from Mumbai, go ahead.
हेलो
Yes,
हाँ मैडम एक राजस्थान में कोटा में 27 लड़कियों का रेप हो गया, वो है तो मर्डर हो गया या तो उन्होंने आत्महत्या किया। सेकंड जोधपुर में सबसे जास्ती पूरे इंडिया में नंबर 1 पे आता है कि वहाँ पे जास्ती रेप होता है, और जयपुर सेकंड नंबर पे आता है। मेरा कहना है कि जब से ये बीजेपी की सरकार है ये राजस्थान में, तब से उधर है ना नंबर पे है राजस्थान, सेकंड नंबर पे है इनका मध्य प्रदेश, थर्ड नंबर पे है महाराष्ट्र रेप के केस में, अब चौथा नंबर है इनका यूपी का, और पांचवा जो है ये इनका छत्तीसगढ़ है। मैडम ये रेप होती है बीजेपी के, इसमें 10 में से अगर पहला 10 में से पकड़ेगा तो उसमें 6 जो है राज्य वो बीजेपी के है जहाँ पे रेप जास्ती होती है, और दूसरा आज 1100 आदमी के पीछे एक पुलिस वाला है। मैडम मैं आप बिलीव करोगे यहाँ पे कम से कम पूरे हिंदुस्तान में 11-12 लाख और पुलिस वाला बनता है, और सरकार बोलती है मेरे पास पैसा नहीं है, अब वो बोलते हैं मेरा ग्रोथ होता है, तो पैसा कहाँ जाता है? क्यों नहीं आदमी की सुरक्षा के ऊपर खर्चा करते हो? आप किसानों के ऊपर खर्चा नहीं करते हो, लोगों की सुरक्षा के ऊपर आप नहीं करते हो, आप आदिवासी जो है कुपोषण से मर रहे हैं उनके ऊपर खर्चा कर रहे हो।
Where is the money going? Where is the money going? Brinda Adige, and this is true. The numbers of crime against women are appalling, and there is I'm going to say it, Brinda Adige, a growing insensitivity in the police force. This is not a problem that has to be solved because it's been this way for a very long time. There is a growing insensitivity. Every time we do a show, Brinda, and you're on the show, the case is more heinous, it's worse, and the police is behaving in an even more irresponsible fashion. Every time it's getting worse. What is going on, Brinda?
Something is wrong with the system, but it is wrong because elected representatives are not taking their promises to the citizens seriously. When there is a law that says that the police officer can be suspended, why is it not being implemented? Why is that particular clause not being enforced? Who is holding the DG back? Because there is somebody holding the DG back. The powers are there with him. And like the other person pointed out, if this political interference continues, then police apathy, indifference and callousness is the only thing that we will be seeing, and they will be getting paid by the taxpayer for this indifference and this callousness and insensitivity, because they know nobody is going to pull them up. They are not afraid of anybody, and the rapists and the police seem to be now in hand in glove, because when they say that they came to the spot after 1.5 hours, this seems to have been a plan between the rapists, the people doing the dacoity and the police. There is no other corroboration that I can think of, and for this the reason is the political parties and the appointed members in the system. And if these members are not going to take their jobs, their duties seriously, then one needs to ask, they need to step down. What are they sitting and doing there? Just wasting our money. The taxpayers' money is being squandered literally by the politicians and the system.
Well, there is zero fear of the law in Uttar Pradesh. Zero fear of the law, because it is possible in Uttar Pradesh to stop a car with 8 people in it. Not 2, not 3, 8 people in it, shoot one, rape 4, leave the rest on the road, steal their money, their phones, their valuables, and run away before the police will even come. And 3 days later, the police won't even find out who you are. The police has absolutely no clue. There is zero respect for the law and order in Uttar Pradesh. The police is completely incapable. The police has completely failed to do its job. Someone in Uttar Pradesh needs to take responsibility. We cannot be talking about a different gang rape case every day in Uttar Pradesh. We cannot spend our time talking about the fact that the police will not believe the victim, that there's been a rape. Your job is not to disprove the victim. Your job is to find the bad guy. Cops and robbers. Very simple theory. UP has the highest and the largest group of armed policemen in the country. You have the numbers. And if you don't have the numbers, add the numbers. If you can create anti-Romeo squads out of thin air overnight, I'm sure you can create a highway patrol that patrols the highways. The highways in UP are a nightmare. People are being raped and looted and murdered on the highway. This is the responsibility of the government of the day. Take that responsibility like you took over the government. Make stronger statements. When you make a statement saying that this is a problem we've inherited, it's going to take time to fix, you're sending a message to your police force that it's okay to drag your feet for 2 more years. It's not okay. हमारी बेटियों को सुरक्षित ना रखने वालों को जनता माफ नहीं करेगी. We're going to keep bringing up these stories on prime time. And we're going to place them in front of the country on a daily basis. Because I believe the people of the country deserve to know. Thanks for watching.